everybody, and for another edition of Voice of Reason. This is Jake Schwartz. It's 4 Easter edition of Voice of Reason. That's right, folks, the 4th nor'easter to hit the East Coast. In the last month, we've had 4 nor'easters in less than 3 weeks, and we hope that everybody, again, is staying safe and warm. For those of you, again, who have power and electricity, you should be very, very thankful. I'm told that it is, first off, it is Wednesday, March 21st. It's the 2nd nor'easter in not even 2 weeks, to actually be a rolling snowstorm on a Wednesday, which makes that even more interesting because it was March 7th. So 2 weeks later, we have yet another nor'easter. I can't even believe it. And we're told that it's supposed to snow again until about close to midnight or even 1 a.m. So everybody, again, as mentioned, please stay safe. And today, Voice of Reason is also broadcasting to Black Cager Sports. This is, of course, Voice of Reason, and also transitioning over to Black Cager Sports, the world's one of the world's most important source for high school sports, sponsored by our dear friend Del Greco Wilson. It's a great and exciting day, but before we get to Black Cager Sports, Voice of Reason here would like to congratulate Roselle Catholic for winning the TOC championship, along with the state championship, the 4th in 7 years, and 3rd in 7 in the TOC. Victories over the Ranney School and against Don Bosco Prep. And now we're back here at Black Cager Sports as we get you set to go for, yes, you've asked for it, the PIAA state championships. And for those of you who are wondering, due to the inclement weather that took place today, there have been a bunch of changes that are going to be made. So if you're planning on driving up tomorrow morning, like I was originally planning to do at 7 a.m., I would be on the road first thing in the morning. You are out of luck. The PIAA state championship games have been postponed until Monday, March 26th, Tuesday, March 27th, and Wednesday, March 28th. So for those of you who have the idea of trying to get a hotel room, you're at least okay for now. And let's not forget, yesterday, with round 1 of this nor'easter, had to push most of the games until about Saturday. I have here the schedule, and we are online on LancasterOnline.com. So for those of you who are wondering, due to those who are wondering about the finals. So, as we look at the Saturday semifinals, the 1A girls will have Jenkintown and Lebanon Catholic play at Downingtown West at 1. Lancaster Catholic will play Bonner Prendergast also in that doubleheader at 2:30 p.m. Also in the 4A, the winners of that game will be Berks Catholic and Cardinal World. In the 4A matchup, Southern Lehigh will play Archbishop Wood at Souderton. Archbishop Carroll will face Mars at State College. Holy Cross and Constitution at Freedom High School at 2:30. Newman Goretti will play Trinity at Governor Mifflin Intermediate School at 3. Lancaster Mennonite takes on Richland at Chambersburg. That's the first of 2 games that will be played. 6A will have Roman Catholic and Pine Richland at 1, and also at 1, Hazleton and Lincoln at Freedom. Now, the winners of those games, again, are going to play against one another. Now, we do have the other schedule, as we're going to head over to PIAA.org. That's your official source, again, for high school sports. And we kick it off again with the 1A. The big one, the big story in the 1A is there will be no team from Philadelphia that will play in 1A. Last year, Mikhail Jones and the Girard College Cavaliers played against one of the most respected Pittsburgh programs, and that was the defending champion, Kennedy Catholic. Well, one team of that is in, and the other team is at Girard College was eliminated early in the first round by, I believe it was Sankofa. Well, Kennedy Catholic will return many of their starters, including its 2 stars, Maceo Austin, who's got offers from West Virginia, Penn State, many other big names. I believe Sagaba Kanadi, who's also averaging just around 15 a game. Maceo's averaging around 25. Rick Mancino has done yet another phenomenal job I believe, a 20-5 record, undefeated in the WPIAL, I believe en route to yet another WPIAL championship. And we're expecting big things out of that team. I like, as I mentioned on Black Cager television, and a lot of us, myself, Nelson Stewart and Amaro Austin, all commentators and correspondents for high school basketball, we were all in agreement that, we were all in agreement that Maceo Austin will wrap up yet another state title, and it should be a good day if you are a Pittsburgh fan. Excuse me, Kennedy Catholic will wrap up the state title, as they should take out. That would be District 4's Lourdes Regional, coming off the win over yet another District 1, and it was Faith Christian, who I believe had a good run, and they won District 1 in 1A. They knocked off Girard College in the District 1 championship game in the 1A. So I'm thinking, again, we will have a champion repeat. That would be Kennedy Catholic out of Pittsburgh, out of District 10, and the #1 overall seed. We head over now to 2A. 2A should be a very good one, but before we get to 2A, as we mentioned before, Constitution and Holy Cross. Now, the original plan for that game, Constitution and Holy Cross, were to be played tomorrow night at Bethlehem Freedom. That has now been changed again, as mentioned, as part of a doubleheader. The winner of that game was to play OLSH. They knocked off the defense just last night. Now, that game was actually the only game that was played yesterday, even despite the impending storm. OLSH knocked off Sewickley Academy, the defending champions, also out of WPIAL, who have played Kennedy Catholic. And Sewickley had a good run this year, but it just was not enough, as OLSH is the #2 seed out of District 7. And the winner of Constitution Holy Cross, I'm going with Constitution Holy Cross with a big upset over Constitution's longtime rival, Math, Civics, and Science, back on Saturday, which was also in Bethlehem. Constitution should win against Holy Cross with the additions of Damon Wall, Keyshawn Hammonds. Again, there's a lot of great names to really keep an eye out for. And I expect a big win out of Constitution, and they will come in and play OLSH. We don't know a whole lot about OLSH. Constitution, I had originally predicted to win it last year, but this year, with the talent that they have, with the guard type of play, with Hammonds, with especially with Damon Wall, who's been really the biggest addition, averaging just around 20 points a game, I'm going to go this year. We're going to have a Philadelphia champion at 2A, and that's going to be Constitution. We also have to determine just who will play in 3A. A doubleheader, I'm told, in different states, or different sections of Pennsylvania. That's Lancaster Mennonite taking on Richland High School, and the defending champs, Newman-Goretti, against District 3 Trinity. I like this matchup with Newman-Goretti and Trinity. Now, that features Sean Good, the sharpshooter out of the Harrisburg area. Trinity, again, is very well coached. Good, I believe, is headed, not 100% sure which Division I school. I think he's Holy Cross. I'm not 100%. Don't entirely quote me on that, but Good is a 15 to 20 point scorer per game himself. Sean Good is expected to contend against Carl Aragale and Newman-Goretti, who are just looking to win yet another state title. I believe it would be 8 or 9, respectively. They lost 2 of their biggest names this past year with Quade Green and Damir Cosby-Roundtree, and Cosby-Roundtree at Villanova. Green at Kentucky, both of whom are getting valuable minutes. Green, I believe, is actually starting. Newman-Goretti is expected to win that game, and more than likely could play, again, you just don't know who's going to win, whether it's Richland or Lancaster Mennonite. I'm still taking, Newman-Goretti to win states. Now, for getting back again to 1A, the final will be played at 2 o'clock on Monday, March 26th. The 2A game will be played also at 2 on Tuesday, March 27th, and at 3A on Wednesday, March 28th, also at 2. So you've got the first 3 classification games that will all be played at 2 o'clock p.m. on separate days. That's 1A Monday, 2A Tuesday, and 3A on Wednesday. And that could be, I'm again going to take New Granada to repeat, and Constitution will finally win yet another state title. They've already won in both 2 and 1A as they move back up again to 2A. On to 4A. This was the interesting thing. On Monday night, myself and many others traveled back up the turnpike to Reading, where we saw a very physical, high-stakes basketball game between the defending 4A champion Imhotep Charter Panthers. The defending public league champions played Bethlehem Catholic all the way to the end. Ryan Young led that team. Actually, it was his brother Kyle Young, Justin Paz, and DeAndre Gardner all played to the core. But in the end, Dante Scott was too much with 27 points. I just don't see anybody coming close in that game. District 10 Sharon was able to knock off Quaker Valley, and they'll play Imhotep. Imhotep, again, a lot of people are saying could dominate 4A basketball for the next couple of years. And let's not forget Damir Bishop, Sharif Knox, Karam Cummings. Just the names again, and they're all juniors and sophomores. Bernard Lightsey, the lone senior on that team, trying to, as they say, do one for the thumb, as he's won a state title every year that he has been at Andre Noble's school. Andre Noble, the most respected coach in the state of Pennsylvania. He's expected to make a big run. That game, by the way, folks, in case anybody was wondering, like 1A, Monday night will be the first day. Now, the original Thursday at 8 will now be Monday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Again, PIAA.org is your official source for all Pennsylvania high school basketball play. We turn our attention now as we go over to the 5A division. It's been a great run again, and a lot of people at Black Cager Television mentioned this could easily be one of the toughest brackets in classification play. Well, folks, this is exactly what it has been. Myself and others were saying Bonner would play in the finals, but Bonner missed a couple key foul shots, I'm told, on Monday night, and Abington Heights winning by 56-51 in overtime. Have a couple of Division II, Division III type players, very well-respected school out in the Scranton area, and they will take on Mars High School. We did mention that the Beasts, again, out of the West, would be the game again to watch. Now, in that game, Mars is going to feature a District 7 team led by future Notre Dame commit Robbie Carmody. His father, the longtime head coach over at Mars, people had said, including my colleagues, that Mars again would win in an upset. This will not be an upset. Mars will win this game. They will play, and they will win that game against Abington Heights. This could easily be a 5, maybe a 10-point victory. We're going to have a celebration again, and we'll have, so far, we'll have at least 2 Pittsburgh teams, not to mention we could have 2 Philadelphia teams. So we're going to be split up right now. My prediction is 2 Pittsburgh and 2 Philadelphia teams that are going to split in 5A. As we go on again to the 6A. And folks, we're only just getting started because, again, we've got some great girls matchups that we're going to talk about in a few moments. But right now, I want to talk about the 6A. Now, just like 5A, or I think it's, just like 3A, we got to talk about again who's going to play. It's not when it's going to be, but who it's going to be. As with the with the Nor'easter that took place this afternoon. Hazelton and Lincoln. Hazelton coming off that big victory last Saturday. Myself and many others were at that game in Bethlehem. Part of that doubleheader. Again, math, civics, and science was in that game. But I think the big game, everybody with a standing room only crowd had Hazelton shoot 65% in their victory over Abington, despite Eric Dixon, who, just credit to him, one of my favorite players to talk to and favorite people to watch. 35 points, 14 rebounds in that game. Robbie Heath finished with 29. In fact, Robbie Heath really was the man to go to in that game. And I mean, it just was not a better player to watch than Heath or Dixon. But the play of Josh Semick really sent a tingle down my spine. 33 points in that game himself. He had about 4 different players, including Jeff Flanutis, in double figures with about 18 or 19 points. Hazleton could be one of the tough teams. They're on a mission. They have never come this far. And I'm going to predict that they're going to challenge Roman Catholic. Now, Roman Catholic has already won the Catholic League Finals. They will play Pine Richland, the defending champions. Reading is out. Reading was the defending 6A champs last year behind 18 points from Lonnie Walker. They knocked off Pine Richland in what was considered. Just think that last year, around this time, we were all getting ready to go up to the state championship game. We had a great crowd. We didn't have the biggest of crowd. And then, on Saturday afternoon, probably by about 6 o'clock p.m., even before, because what happens is that you have 12, 2, and then you take a little bit of a break so that media can, I guess, well, you take like an evening type of session that will take place again at 6 o'clock. Media gets an opportunity again to get the papers they need, get their stories out, because you figure they're probably on deadline. When the doors opened last year on Saturday, Reading fans packed the entire Giant Center. The Giant Center was filled to capacity, and we had a chance to watch some phenomenal basketball that included McDonald All-American Lonnie Walker, was the first, believe it or not, of 2 All-Americans last year, folks. I mean, Quade Green was an All-American, and, you know, Newman got the crowd that they had, but, I mean, Reading really gave Lonnie Walker the crowd that they needed. They won that game over Pine Richland. Pine Richland has, again, Phil Jokic, who's headed to play college football at Notre Dame next year. We're excited what he can do. Andrew Petcash, you see him again for PK Flash, which is the AAU team. He ought to have a big game. But really the question is for Roman. And for those of you again who are wondering, Seth Lundy hurt his ankle, I believe, during the victory over CB West. And this gives him an opportunity again to relax. This gives him a chance again to be healthy, or at least he can get close to 90%. If he can even get between 85 or 90, he should be okay again when when they start play. Again, those games, 1 o'clock and 2:30 at separate schools. Chambersburg, I believe, the place for Roman, and at 2 1 o'clock games. My apologies, 2 1 o'clock games. Hazleton, Lincoln. Very good District 1, District 2 matchup. Roman, Pine Richland. I'm going with Roman taking on Hazleton, and Roman will wrap up the 6A. So that's our boys edition. As we get over now to the women's edition, we've got to certainly show love for the women's basketball. We'll be out there for all the games that will take place. And like many of those games, I'm told now Saturday at 1 at Downingtown West again, Lebanon Catholic and Jenkintown. I'm probably going to go with Lebanon Catholic to win, but you never really know. Bishop Carroll and Wanietta Valley. Actually, Wanietta Valley has already won. They played yesterday at 5 o'clock. They had to move the games up again with the weather. Tuesday, March 27th at noon. So that is the first game of day number 2. Day number 1 is going to be the West Catholic Burrs, my West Catholic Burrs, one of my many high schools that I work with. And I want to give a special shout out to one of my favorite people, Coach Beulah. Coach Beulah has come a long way from out in the outskirts of Texas. When West Catholic really made a lot of changes in the last 2 years, one of their big concerns, and keep this in mind, was only 5-6 years ago, West Catholic was an all-boys school. Well, they have expanded now, and really the goal was to either close down or become a co-ed school. West Catholic took that opportunity, and now for the first time in school history have girls and boys, and their girls team are 1 win away from winning the state championship, as they will play District 6 Bellwood Antis, number 3 against the District 12 and the 1-seeded West Catholic. They've been averaging just around the last 2 games 50 points. They won in overtime over Penn's Manor. Monday at noon will be the first official game, so we will kick off for Black Cager Sports. We will kick off the official starting time at 12 noon on Monday, March 28th, or excuse me, March 26th. My apologies again. March 26th on Monday. I'm going to go with, on a limb, and I'm not trying to be a favorite or, like a homer here, but I'm going to say that West Catholic will make their dreams come true. Jalen Durrett, one of the big names to keep an eye out for. There is certainly talent again from top to bottom on that West Catholic team, and they really can show it. They've been playing the best basketball so far for women's basketball, and we'll get to the other teams that are on a mission, but I can definitely vouch and say West Catholic is also on a mission. Also playing again on Monday night will be the Newman Goretti girls team, and they are the defending 3A champions. So I think we will more than likely have both men's and women's. Andrea Peterson has done another great job again this year. They'll take on a tough Bishop Canavan. Coincidentally, Newman Goretti is a District 2, or I should say, not District 2, a 2 seed, as they played Imhotep and lost to Imhotep in the district playoffs, in the district finals, that is. So Newman Goretti, I say, from Tatiana Jones, certainly a lot of Division I talent on the floor. I think we've got a girl going to Texas, a girl going to, I'd have to find that out, but we definitely have quite a few young ladies that should capitalize again. And Newman Goretti will have both men's and women's, and I'm predicting 3A goes to Newman Goretti. As we move on now to 4A, we also have games that will have to be made up. Saturday, March 24th, Lancaster Catholic at Bonner Prendergast. I'm going to take Bonner Prendergast in that game. A lot of good talent on that team as well. Longtime head coach over there. I don't remember off the top of my head his name. And we'll see Cardinal Werfel, I think. They'll defeat Berks Catholic. I just somehow feel like a District 7 team needs to get into the finals, but I guess you really never know. And that game will be played on the final day. So, again, like we have with many of these, so 1, 2, and 4A are all going to be played on separate days at exactly high noon. So this will be the final day of the state championship game at high noon. So I'm going with, again, as for 4A, who do you take in that game in 4A? Well, it's a tough one because it really is, again, a toss-up because we haven't really seen a lot of the Central PA schools play. I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm going to take Bonner Prendergast, like West Catholic, like Newman Goretti. I think this is going to be the year for District 12 basketball, at least on the women's side. And we're going to have 3 District 12 teams representing Philadelphia that are going to represent Hershey and are going to win. So those games, at least for now. We now go on to 5A. And in 5A, we'll also have 2 other games made up. Mars boys and girls are also playing, as we have Archbishop Carroll, always a well-respected program, has a couple Division I girls. I think we have a girl going to Villanova off the top of my head. Archbishop Wood, always a team to contend with. They have quite a few girls. I think one also might be going to Villanova as well. I say it'll be a District 12 final. We'll have a Catholic League final, Archbishop Wood and Archbishop Carroll, Wednesday night at 6 o'clock p.m. That'll be after our break, I guess you could say. So to open up for the boys' 6A championship, we'll have the girls' 5A championship. And that's going to be Archbishop Carroll and Archbishop Wood. And the winner of that game, I got to really ask myself that question. Who do you take to win a game like that, to compete in a game like that? And I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm going to say Archbishop Wood will knock off Archbishop Carroll for the championship. It'll be a great physical type of matchup, but I'll say it'll be Archbishop Wood defeating Carroll. Even if that game goes into overtime, I still think Wood wins that game by about 2. But again, you really just, you don't know. It's really, again, complicated because, again, we will have 2 District 12 teams that will, again, be competing. And for the final game, again, and that game, by the way, again, at 6 o'clock p.m., folks, before the 6A championship. And for the final game, myself and Mike Young are very thrilled because we come from Fort Washington, Pennsylvania. And we are, as the old saying goes, when you're from Upper Dublin, you're from Upper Dublin in life. And Upper Dublin is in the finals. Our Cardinals are in the finals for the first time ever in school history. And we wish Morgan Funstein nothing but the best. And we have a District 1 championship against Central Buck South and Upper Dublin. I know I'm not supposed to be a homer. Central Buck South is always a good team. But Upper Dublin has made it a mission. Upper Dublin has upset 4 different, that's right, folks, 4 different high schools. Now, Upper Dublin started with their, as far as wins go, they knocked off Garnet Valley, who was a number 3 seed. Then they played, now they've actually played, what gets even interesting is their bracket has been one of the toughest. Yet all of them, all the games they've played have been teams that they know very well. They're all District 1 teams. Upper Dublin has knocked off Garnet Valley. They have knocked off Abington. They beat both those teams under 10. They have knocked off Satterton, who was the number 1 team in the state this past Monday night. And on Tuesday night, at 6 o'clock p.m., I'm going to go on a limb. Jess Poland is one of the big names to keep an eye out for, in case anybody was wondering. I'm going to go on a limb. And because I feel like it's always nice to have the Cinderella team to be on that mission, I'm going to say the Cardinals of Upper Dublin will capture their first ever PIAA state championship and win by 5 over a very tough Central Bucks South team. That is my prediction. I'm very proud of saying that. I'm not ashamed of it. So we will have, again, as mentioned, and that game at 6 o'clock before we will have our final boys game again at 8 o'clock. So again, our winners will have a lot of Philadelphia teams that will, again, as mentioned, that should win. Again, the Central PA teams, there will be a few that will compete. We wish all the teams, again, as mentioned, the best of luck. So that is my prediction via Black Cager Sports. And for those of you, again, who are wondering, do not travel tomorrow. The state championship games have been postponed Monday, March 26th, 12, 2, 6, and 8. Tuesday, March 27th, 12, 2, 6, and 8. Wednesday, March 28th, 12, 2, 6, and 8. We wish all the teams, again, the best of luck throughout the PIAA state tournament. Good luck to all the teams, again, competing in the semifinals because, again, as mentioned, the winners of those games will compete next week in the state tournament. So, again, we want to thank everybody for joining us, and we hope to see everybody again up in Hershey. From all of us again here in northwestern Philadelphia, I'm Jacob, the Voice Schwartz, for a presentation of Voice of Reason and a special edition of Black Cager Television. We'll see you at the games.